Hello, friends. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in again. Another episode of the Backyard Warrior, and today we're making some smoked brisket chili. Here I have all my ingredients. I already did my mise en place. This is the hardest part of this cook, is to get everything prepped and ready. To start the prep for my cook, I cut an onion into two halves. Here I have a yellow onion, and then peel off the skin. Give it a nice dice. One whole onion should be enough for this cook. Once you're done, put it aside and move on to our next ingredient, which is rotel. Here I'm using tomatoes and green chilies. I like rotel, good quality product. Here I have four 10-ounce cans. I'm gonna run through a food processor, give it a few pulses. That's all we need. We don't need to puree this or anything. We still need a little bit of texture. Once we're done, we're gonna pour everything in a container. This is the texture we're looking for right there. Very nice. You can use the liquid from the can as well too. Put everything on a container, set aside for the cook, and move on to the next one. Chili New Mexico, chili pasillo, chili ancho. All these are mild dry chilies that I'm gonna use for this cook. And we have to deseed them, chop off the top, and then just get all the seeds out as much as you can. Like I said, these are mild, so a little bit of seeds won't hurt. If you want a little bit of heat, you can adjust that by adding some chili arbol or chipotle, whatever you want. For me, I'm sticking with mild. Maybe kids will have this chili, so I don't want to make it too hot. At the end, here's what we left with. And to rehydrate this, we're gonna add some beef stock, very hot beef stock, to the chilies and cover for a few minutes. Next, we're gonna clean some garlic. Here I have a head of garlic. Smash, easy to peel when you smash it like that. I just need a few cloves, maybe six or seven, to add to the chilies. Get a food processor. Add the garlic first or last, it don't matter. Chilies. And be careful when you do this. This stock is very hot. Once you add the peppers, add the liquid, and then give it a few pulses and a run for a few seconds until you get the right texture you need. Little sniff sniff, smells good. Clean up as you go. It helps a lot when you finish with cleaning. This is the final product we got. Beautiful color, smells good. Everything is right. And here is the start of the show. Here I have a frozen brisket, semi-cooked. I smoked this a while ago until it reaches in 160, 165. Then I chilled it and vacuum sealed it. Save it for a cook like today. Here we're gonna get it out of the vacuum seal and look at this brisket right here. Beautiful bark. You can see the separation of the point and the flat already. But I'm gonna cut this into two halves. I'm only using the flat for this cook, and I'm saving the point for something else, maybe some burn ends or anything. And we're gonna slice into this flat, regular brisket slices. We still have a little bit of fat cap on it, which is good for a longer cook. All of that is gonna render and sip into our chili. Here's a beautiful slice, nice bark, Beautiful smoke ring. Perfect. Now we're gonna dice this flat into small dice. This takes about 5-10 minutes. You can always run it through a meat grinder if you want, but I prefer to slice it. Once we finish, we're gonna put everything on a container and set it aside for the cook. You can stack up those slices to speed up the process, like I did here. This brisket is still firm. It was in the fridge for a while. I thawed it in the fridge so it won't fall apart or anything. Here's all the brisket we have. Put all that in a container and set it aside. So here's all the prep we have to do today. It takes most of the time. Most of the work is in the prep. Once you finish with it, or the mise en place, the rest is easy. Just put everything together in a pot and let it simmer for a few hours. Let's go through these ingredients and explain everything we have here. First, I have some ground brisket here as a base for my chili, and then my chili spice. This is a mix of onion powder, garlic powder, some chili powder, paprika, cumin, a little bit of turmeric, and I believe that's it. And we have pepper, salt, and some tomato paste. For my aromatics, we have a whole diced onions, and here I have some tomatoes and chilies. Well, of course, don't forget about my homemade beef stock I have here. And over here we have some dry chilies. I took the seeds out and dehydrated with some beef stock, and then run it through the food processor. I added some garlic as well for some flavor to it. Now to the start of the show. This is some smoked brisket. I'm only using the flat part of it. What I did is I slice flat and then dice it to small cubes like this. So this is our start of the show. This is our meat for the chilies. All our ingredients are ready. This is probably the hardest part of this cook. Now all we have to do is put all this together by cooking it, and then our chili is ready. Okay, stay tuned. The Dutch oven, we're gonna start browning the meat. Here I have maybe 3/4 of a pound, half a pound of ground brisket. We're gonna use it as a base for our chili. All right. A bit of salt. We're gonna use the same fat to cook the onions. Should be good. The salt again. It should be good. We don't need to caramelize these onions or anything. Everything is going to be blended later on. So all we need is sweat them a little bit. Add some pepper. Go with the chili spice. Be generous with this. And just let these spices bloom a little bit. maybe a couple minutes. Now going with some tomato paste. It should be good. And cook that for probably a couple of minutes as well. With the beef. Let it cook off a little bit. If you see here, we develop a little fun. That's all we need, a little bit, not too much. This dish is packed with flavor. We don't need more of that over here. That's all the sugars and tomatoes. Now we're gonna deglaze with a little bit of a beef stock. Oh, this is already looking good. We're gonna add our chilies now. Our mix of tomatoes and chilies as well. Now it's time to add the starter to show, our smoked brisket. You can be generous. It depends on how do you want your chili. I want to use all this meat. It looks like a lot, but it's gonna cook down. This thing will simmer for hours in here, so I'm not worried about the pot full. Maybe a little bit more chili, more of the tomatoes, the rest of the beef stock. All we have to do is bring this to a boil and then lower the heat, let it simmer for hours until we get the right consistency we need, and then your chili is done. Of course, you taste as you go to adjust the seasoning, salt and pepper. So my chili came to a boil, just a gentle boil, not a roaring boil. Now we're gonna turn the heat down a little bit and let it simmer for a few hours here until it's done. All right. So a few hours into this cook, I think my chili is done. I like the color that it puts on. Smoked brisket chili. It took a few hours. I hit it with the immersion blender to smooth up everything. Wow, perfect. A lot of beefiness, smokiness in this chili. Not too much heat. Now for a little bit of topping, I'm adding some white onions. A little bit of cheese. This is mild cheddar, by the way. Don't skip on the cheese. Alright, now mix all this stuff together. Beautiful. This is barbecue comfort food at its best. Until the next one, stay safe and bye-bye.